Hi, welcome to Ray Suarez Real Estate School. Today we're going to be talking about the topic of how to become a real estate broker. In this course we're going to be talking everything you need to know on how to prepare for a state exam also so that you can become a real estate broker here in Florida. But also this course for anybody that's looking to take a real estate broker's course in any state here in the United States. Also this course can help you out also because it provides a lot of the information that's basic and it's the foundation for any real estate course. So again, this course can help you out if you're studying to prepare for the state exam for real estate broker, and again also for sales associates too. Anybody who wants to become an agent, again there's a lot of information in here that can be used for a review and also as a background to help you out in any state exam. So let's take a look at title, what title is. Okay, so when we talk about title, we're talking about a bundle of rights. And that bundle of rights, it's a right of disposition, the right of use, the right of possession, and the right of exclusion. When you have all that bundle of rights, you have what's called title. And when you have title, and you have all that bundle of rights, you have it in fee simple. Fee simple. Okay? So anytime we're going to be looking at any contracts, the contracts for purchase and sale, we're looking for mortgage contracts. What we're purchasing is title. What we're selling is title. What we're borrowing for is title to the property. Okay? Because remember, we're not going to pick up the property and take it away. We're going to be buying these rights to this property. So it's the right of disposition, the right of use, the right of possession, and the right of exclusion. And all of these bundle of rights equal title. Okay? And again, you might want to memorize these acronyms: DUPE, DUPE. Okay, so again, when it comes to state exam, you want to put the acronyms on the on your sheet, your paper sheet. They're going to give you a blank sheet of paper for your math problems and things of that nature. So use that paper before you get started. Jot down any acronym, anything that comes into mind, because later on that might be a crutch as you're taking the exam, and it'll help you and it'll jog your memory too. Okay, real estate and real property. Now, the property you're in right now, all the four walls where you're sitting in, that's called real estate. But the moment that we add title to real estate, and number two here, the moment you add title to the real estate, then from here on in, all the documents that you're going to be looking at are going to be referring to real property. Real property. So the purchase and sales contract is going to be referring to real property. The mortgage is going to be referring to real property. The listing agreement is going to be referring to real property. The deed is going to be referring to real property. So all the documents we're going to be looking at is going to be referring to real property. Okay, we have this word now that we're also going to learn. It's called freehold. Freehold. Freehold is another way of saying estate, or it's another way of saying tenancy, or it's another way of saying fee simple. So you're going to learn here that in this terminology that we're going to learn, the banks and in the real estate, when they created these words, they kind of created it to confuse you. Okay, but in a sense, it's the terminology that we have to become familiar with. So freehold is another way of saying fee simple. It's a way of saying the bundle of rights that we have. Now, when we have this bundle of rights, we have it for an indefinite period of time. Okay, so that's why it's called freehold, for an indefinite period of time. Number two, it's called freehold. It's an estate. It's a tenancy also. It's fee simple. You could also see it, number four, as a life estate. Okay, and during that life of the property, the person owns that property, and then later on, when he passes away, when he dies, the property passes on. It should be number five here, but it goes into the remainder man. Okay, so it goes to the remainder man. So again, when you have a life estate, during the period of time that you're living it, it's called a life estate. And then afterwards, it's going to be going to the remainder man. The remainder man. And number six, again, we have title to the property. Okay. It's also an estate. It's a tenancy. And when we have all of this, number seven, we have the bundle of rights. And we already saw that the bundle of rights is the right of disposition, use, possession, and exclusion. So that's called freehold. We also have non-freehold. Non-freehold is for a limited time. It's also called a leasehold. And basically what it is a lease contract. So when you have a lease contract, it's called a leasehold. And you have the right of use, possession, and exclusion, but you don't have the right of disposition. So in a non-freehold, it's a lease contract. It's a lease agreement that you have. So again, in a lease, you have use, possession, and exclusion, but you don't have the right of disposition. Okay, so comparing the two, well, we have a freehold or a fee simple property is for an unlimited time, whereas we have a non-freehold or a leasehold, it's for a limited time. Okay, so time is limited in a lease. Okay, so this just looking at them side by side. So for the most part, what we're going to be looking at is looking at title of a property. We're going to look at a property estate or a tenancy, and we're going to get the property fee simple. That means that we're going to get all the bundles of rights. All the bundles of rights on number 7. The right of disposition, the right of use, the right of possession, and the right of exclusion. Now, when we have this bundle of rights, we can have this property in what's called severalty, or we can have it, let me just make this a little bit wider so we can see this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so number 1 in severalty. So when you have title to the property, remember when you have an estate or you have title, you have the right of disposition, use, possession, and exclusion. So it's called estate. It's an estate or is a tenancy that we have in the property. Now, in number 1 here, you can have the property in severalty. And severalty means just one person. Or you can have it number 2 in a tenancy in common. 2 or more people that have this property. Now, what tenancy in common has is the right of heirs. The right of heirs states that if 2 people have the property and one of them dies, then the heirs of that person that died is going to get part of that property. Okay, so it's called tenancy in common. And number 3, you have joint tenancy, or you also have a joint estate. And what this one has is the right of survivorship. On number 3, so if you have a joint tenancy or a joint estate, that means 2 or more people have the property. It could be 2 brothers, 2 cousins. But if one of them dies, the survivor is going to get the property. The survivor is going to get fee simple all of the property, all of title. Okay, so when 2 or more people have the property, it's going to be the right of survivorship. The survivor is going to get fee simple the property. Well, again, don't forget fee simple is the right of disposition, use, possession, and exclusion, the bundle of rights. And in number 4, we have what's called tenancy by the entireties. Tenancy by the entireties is a married couple, husband and wife, and they're considered whole. They're considered an entirety. And if one of them dies, then the survivor is going to get the property in fee simple. So number 4, we're talking about right of survivorship, and again, it's called fee simple, where they're going to go ahead and receive all, the survivor is going to receive all of the rights of disposition, use, possession, and exclusion. Okay, so again, when we have title, again, in the contracts, when we sign the deed, when we apply for a loan, that's what we're going to be applying for. What is it we want to have the property by ourselves, one person, or in tenancy in common, joint tenancy, tenancy by the entireties. And we'll go look at that in a few minutes when we take a look also at a 1003 loan application also.